Okay, today's story time is a really fun one about childhood. Um, when I was a kid, I used to have a really big loud noise problem where I had a fear of loud noises. Not that I had a loud noise problem, but as someone who's loud, I actually used to be scared of like yelling, fireworks, anything that was over like 50 decibels, I guess, was considered loud to me. And as a kid, that was a problem because my parents like going to concerts and going to see movies, and those things were pretty loud at times, especially if they wanted to see IMAX. Like, oh god, I still think IMAX is loud, by the way. But back to the story. I was around 10 years old, and I'm on the autism spectrum, by the way. And I started getting into bands like Metallica and Guns N' Roses, which I got into because of my dad and mom. And I started getting into more metal, like Avenged Sevenfold and Disturbed, all those great bands that would later evolve into more metalcore and deathcore bands. But I got into them, and my dad noticed because I one time had a Guns N' Roses shirt that I took from my dad's closet. He had a bunch of band t-shirts, and that was one of them. And I wore it to school. And after that, he kind of noticed I was into that kind of music, and so we started listening to more of it. And over time, our love for hard rock kind of grew. And my dad, thought like, hey, I want to take my son to concerts, but he's still afraid of loud noises. And I guess, his therapist or the person he was talking to decided it'd be a great idea to say, what if you just take him to the loudest thing so that way he'll be numb to everything? Which, by the way, if any of you guys are going to be parents, I say that's a really bad idea, but for this one, it actually worked. My dad tells me, hey, we're going to see Katy Perry, which was kind of like his defunct for the actual band we were seeing. And I was in a car, and for some reason, he made me wear a Guns N' Roses shirt, which should have been the first sign that, okay, we're not seeing Katy Perry. But we go to like Ford Field, which is the home of the Lions, and I heard about Guns N' Roses were having a new tour coming out in 2013, and I was like, no way could I go, because I'm still afraid of loud noises. And my dad's like, hey, guess where we're going? And I see a bunch of people with Guns N' Roses shirts, and I lose my stuff. Like, I am so scared. And he doesn't, and I, because I heard there are fireworks and, pyros and all that at Guns N' Roses show. I mean, it's Guns N' Roses. And my dad looked at me and said, son, don't pussy out. Which, I'm not gonna lie, that was kind of like, it's like, your girl's around. I think he said something like that, and it just got me the courage to go. And guess where, of course, he sat us? Front row. Like, so, yeah, very, very, very extreme stuff. And I was nervous, to say the least. And, however, I enjoyed the show. I enjoyed it so much. It was probably one of the best concert experiences ever in my life. And while fireworks were scary at first, being up close, you realize they won't hurt you. Like, there's no way it will hurt you. And the noise problem was just a psychological fear of like, oh, it's too loud, it's gonna break my ears or something. That's all can change with earplugs. So I've learned some valuable lessons from that show. Like, and here's the one thing you do fear about at those concerts is the mosh pit. That's the only thing you can really fear. But other than that, I think the biggest takeaway from this lesson is don't let fear stop you from doing what you might actually love doing. And now, because of Guns N' Roses, I've seen like Metallica, Lorna Shore, Ice Nine Kills, a bunch of metal bands. And I went to Rockville this year, so obviously I can handle loud noise just fine. And I hope you guys enjoy this video, and I hope you get the message across. Maybe try something you do that you might fear.